Hello and welcome to Heide Park here in Germany, the last day of the Spring European theme park trip. My name's Matt, this is the Coaster Giant channel, and here is what's coming up in today's vlog. The park is looking stunning now we're in, but it has taken us 50 minutes from getting into the car park and getting through the turnstiles. Now, because this is a Merlin park, we are aware that you get discounted tickets when you come in. So we hadn't pre-booked anything. You can't pre-book discounted annual pass tickets on the website. So first of all, we turned up and you have to pay for parking on the way in. And the card machine wasn't working on our barrier. We hadn't pre-booked it, so we had to wait there for a good 5 minutes for someone to come and help, which I'm sure the people behind us loved. But then they just let us in there for free because they couldn't get it to work, so we got free parking. And we got to the one window with one person serving at the entrance to try and buy our discounted tickets with our annual passes. He said we couldn't. We said we could. And then he rang somebody and told us to go through a certain gate on the turnstile that was manned, and we showed the guy our annual passes and he just let us in. So, I mean, great for us because we haven't paid anything yet today. I'm sure that's not what's supposed to happen, but I'm not going to complain about it. So yeah, we're not sure what's going on. The staff weren't sure what's going on, but I'm not complaining because we're now in this beautiful park for free. How many coasters have we got to get on today?
Is it 9? I think it's 9.
I think we looked last night, yeah. I think 9 coasters today. One is closed because it's been rethemed, but it is an SLC, so neither of us are that bothered about that. And we're just walking over now to, we think, the wing coaster, B&M Wing, called Flug der Dämonik? Flug der Dämonik. I think I pronounced that right. So yeah, let's get on some rides for free. And here we are. First stop, headed right to the back of the park and entering Transylvania. I've got to say, so far, I'm well impressed with the theming in this park. Surrounded by big coasters. Look at that one behind. It's a massive wooden coaster over there, and we're about to get on this B&M Wing coaster. I'm excited for this. Looks like quite a cool layout, interacting with other coasters as well. So just like all the Merlin parks in the UK, it has got an app that's really good with the times. I'm going on Flug der Dämonik, and it's currently at a 20-minute wait. Ooh, I'm liking this queue line. So we're nearly at the batching area, and you get to choose between the two lines. You can sit on the left or the right. Same as Swarm at Thorpe Park. We're going for the right so that we get the flip over the top of the track when we're at the top of the lift hill. But that was amazing. So on this trip, other than Liseberg, we haven't had any really big, really intense coasters. Have we?
Yesterday was very big intense.
I suppose that was intense. Okay, I'm being corrected. I don't know, I just think like roller coasters like that are just in a different league for me. And like yesterday I felt a little bit flat. But now I've done that, straight away today my mojo is back up. I love that. The theming was good. It is very similar to Swarm in terms of the theming. But the station's got a roof. There's loads of cool props in there. They've got a better baggage handling system where basically the air gates have a rotating bag hold. So once you put your bags in it, it rotates and then it rotates to the point in the ride area for when you've finished. So that's better. I loved it. I think I prefer that to Swarm as well. The ride was just, apart from one little bit before the last inversion that was weirdly janky for a B&M, I thought that was really good. I'd say straight away that's better than Swarm. Claire?
I'm not so sure. I think the moment on Swarm where you do the twist at the top of the drop, that is one of my favourite moments on any coaster. And while Flug had that as well, it had it as part of the drop, so you didn't have that same hang time. So I'm having an internal battle right now over which one was better, but I think I preferred the rest of the layout on that one. But yeah, I need to have a think. It was amazing though.
The good thing about it as well is the near misses came from like the surrounding buildings and the terrain, rather than like props like that you get on Swarm. So I think that added to it as well for me. If the near misses felt like proper near misses. Okay, we've spotted a bobsled coaster. Probably good to get on this a bit early in the day because they're not the best for capacity. So we'll give this one a whirl. They're usually fun coasters. Usually rattle you about a little bit. That was really good. I've always loved that at Blackpool, but don't go on it much because of how long the queues are. But that was a really good layout. It was janky. These are always a bit rough, aren't they? But it's not the kind of like shaky motion that gives you a headache. It's kind of more bumpy than shaky from side to side. I don't know if that's why it doesn't give you a headache. But yeah, I loved that. The only thing that's slightly disappointing was at the end there's a lift hill. I always think like a lift hill at the end of a ride just gives you time to like for your energy to drop a little bit. Whereas when you're like straight back into the station, you're like pumped when you get off the ride. But yeah, for an old coaster that was really good. I'm just hoping that Claire's okay on it because we got split up at the air gates. Here she comes, she's shaking her head. That was bumpy, wasn't it?
It was vile. It was so rattly. Oh.
See, I loved it because I was just saying, like, I feel like it's bouncy rather than rattly side to side. So, did it get your head, or are you okay?
I'm just about okay.
Okay. Right, this park seems to be set around a big lake, so I think we're just going to do a big circle and see what we end up. But in the queue for that, you're literally on top of this hillside, and you can just see coaster track and trains everywhere. It's mad. It's not. I thought this park was going to be a lot bigger when I saw the lineup of roller coasters, but it's not that big. It's just an amazing view. Look at this bridge. It's like stunning. So we've got a nice little monorail that takes you around the park, and look at that massive wooden coaster over there. I was not prepared for how big that is. It's so high. So that's Colossus. It's a fairly new Intamin wooden roller coaster. Same manufacturers as Boulder from Liseberg that we were on just the other day. Some massive airtime hills on that. And it looks like it's going really fast. We're at a distance and it looks like it's going fast already. Check out the slide creds. They are massive. I don't even think I'd fit in them. Not them twisty ones anyway. Just look at this view. There is coaster track everywhere. It is absolutely crazy. It's an SLC, a bobsleigh, a wing coaster, a dive coaster, a Vekoma looping corkscrewing coaster. It's absolutely stunning the way that it all interacts with each other. Okay, we're making our way over to Colossus, the massive wooden coaster, and then we saw, I think think it's called Blitz. It is called Blitz, there's a sign. So this is a powered coaster. Haven't really seen the layout on this one, so it's going to hopefully be a nice surprise. So this is Wickerman's bigger brother. Look at that for a showpiece. Whoa. What? No way. That is a fire effect. That looks so smooth as well, coming into the brake run. I am so excited for this wooden coaster. If it's anything like as smooth as Boulder with as much airtime, with them extra bits, like the fire effects and stuff, this is going to be mental. Look at the height of that. Well, there's lots of different heights in terms of drop height, blah blah blah, but it's like 165 foot high at the highest point. That's really high for a wood. This is, I think, probably the biggest wooden coaster I've been on, I think. Can't wait to get up there. Okay, let's get on Colossus. So you've got the main entrance, you've got Express, and you've got a single rider queue, so we're going to do a ride together. And then later on, the queue's advertised at 45 at the minute, so later on, if the queue keeps getting busier and doesn't die down at all, we could always get a few re-rides using the single rider queue. That should speed things up. This is huge, look at it, it goes right over there. It's a massive layout. Ooh, nice bit of shade. One bit of theming that I really like on this coaster, if you're going to see the coaster track that he's holding, it's actually a fake bit of track. But as you come over that hill, it looks like you're about to go on it, and he's ripping the track up. It's really, it doesn't look much from here, but it's really effective when you're on the ride. That was incredible. We looked out and we got a back row ride for our first ever go on Colossus. And on them airtime levels, that's pretty mad. I unfortunately got pinned in, but Claire had a good amount of space.
A lot of space.
So she was getting serious airtime, so I need to get back on that later and experience that. It's a seatbelt and a lap bar. The queue line was nice, there's quite a few bits of shade until you got to the cattle pens at the end, which wasn't great. But it took exactly 45 minutes as advertised. The station was beautifully themed. The trains were actually really comfortable, even though it was a seatbelt and a lap bar. Didn't feel the seatbelt digging into me. And the ride was just so smooth. On some of the sharper corners, it was had a little bit of a jolt. But yeah, on the airtime hills, it was just incredible. Definitely one of my favourite wooden coasters I've ever been on. And I think if we get some more rides on that later today, the park shuts at 7 o'clock tonight. So it's 22 degrees. So if we let that warm up throughout the day, we should be getting some even more serious airtime on that later. So I just need to make sure I don't get a tight loose bar. A tight lap bar next time. Next coaster, just next door to Colossus, is Desert Race. So this is a clone of Rita at Alton Towers. So we probably know what we're going to get with this. But straight away the theming looks incredible. Have you seen the Ops booth? That's the Ops booth. Massive helicopter. And the station's got a roof. I never understand why stations in the UK don't have roofs, and why we don't have more covered queue lines with our weather. Oh yeah. So that actually felt really different to Rita. Although the launch felt just as powerful, you didn't get any pops of airtime or anything, which I usually get on Rita, but it was a lot smoother. Compared to my last ride on Rita, that was really good. Probably a one and done for today though. Okay, it's time for a cool down. We're going to head on to Mountain Rapids, the rapid ride. It looks like a cool old school rapids. It looks stunning. Look at that building over there. Loads of rock work. Man, I'm so impressed with the theming in this place. And I'm really hoping I get wet on this because I am boiling today. I really enjoyed that. We didn't get very wet. Quite a good sprinkle on my back, which is nice, it's cooled me down. The rapids weren't that rapidy, but it was a fun ride. There was a lot of waterfalls. I'm hoping I can get a shot of the waterfall tunnel that you go through, which is probably twice the size of the one that Alton Towers used to have. And man, it makes me want the one at Alton Towers back, because it was that was the best bit of the ride. So, I wanted to get some good shots of the rapids, and we just found this bridge, which literally wraps around the whole of the ride. It's really cool. You get one waterfall blast over there, which I had my back right against. And then you get another one, once you've done a bit more of the circuit, right down here. How cool does that look? Completely covered in spray. Why can't we have nice things like this at home? I miss that waterfalls, man. They're even double-sided, check this out. So just like from a scenery point of view, they're all the way on this side as well. As far as we know, we've got one dark ride to get done here, and we've just seen it over there. We're both pretty excited for this because it's themed to Ghostbusters. We've seen the Ghostbusters car outside. It had a bit of downtime earlier, but it looks like it's open again now, so we're going to hop on that just before we stop for lunch. There is just one thing I've noticed about this park that's a little bit disappointing, like behind us here. There's obviously a place, because there's also a knock box, where there used to be a flat ride and they've just taken it away and left it. I've seen quite a few of them. When we were on Colossus earlier, I looked down and there was about 3 different locations all in one area of the park that used to have flat rides but haven't anymore. It just looks sad. At least if they just tried to theme it up and made it into a picnic area or something, it'd be better. Or obviously put some more flat rides in. It's a shame to see things taken away and nothing added in their place. Okay, this looks pretty decent. Check this out. This is the Ghostbusters Dark Ride. I'm guessing this is a shooting ride, but who knows? Oh, 5D. Interactive 5D dark ride. So we just grabbed some food from the Curry Kitchen, which is right outside Colossus. Looks really decent actually. So I went for chicken McCann. So you get rice, the curry, lettuce. You can also have tomatoes and tzatziki on it, but I didn't want that with mine. That was €10.90. Claire's had the vegetarian option with the tomatoes and tzatziki. $10.90 as well. So actually, pretty good value. And then I thought I'm going to try my luck. Got my Merlin pass out, and I got a discount. So it's like works out at €9. Unfortunately, the drinks weren't working there, which is a bit of a pain. All they had was hot drinks. They had no beer. They had no fizzy drinks either. So Claire's just nipped to the vending machine to get a drink. But yeah, this looks good. I'm looking forward to this. That was absolutely delicious. Really, really nice, really tasty. Loads of chicken, loads of rice. And all with Merlin discount, so I can't grumble. How was your vegetarian curry?
It was very nice. I was a bit concerned because it said it was a free chili rating, but it was perfectly mild, really tasty. Very good for hot food.
Mine had a oh my god. Mine had a 2 chili rating. It had a little bit of heat, but nothing too bad at all, just really tasty. Right, we're now going on probably 3-minute walk back to Ghostbusters. It's posted as a 15-minute wait, so it looks like they've got it reopened. And then we've pretty much done our first loop of the park. So after that, we've still got a couple of coasters to get on. So we'll do them. There's a log flume that we want to do, and they've got a massive drop tower as well, which, believe it or not, I'm actually excited to do after yesterday at Heide Park. So yeah, we'll catch up with you in a bit when we found out what this Ghostbusters ride's all about. So just reading the sign on the way in, this is a 5-minute long dark ride. It's a massive show building. It says that your seats will rotate and tilt, that you'll have 3D glasses on, and that you'll have a proton pack gun. So I'm intrigued and excited, and the queue line has some banging music in it, so I don't mind waiting in this. It's posted as 15-minute queue, and we're just on the last stretch to the door now. It's counting 30 people in at a time. I really don't know what to expect. I don't know what the ride system is or anything. So Ghostbusters was surprisingly good. I've not heard anyone talk about that ride ever. I guess I've not seen many vlogs from here either, but yeah, no one talks about that. But I was really impressed. The car design, there's 2 rows of 4, but it's designed to look like one of the Ghostbusters cars. You get a really well themed gun, which fires lasers at all the different scenes, which are mainly screen based, but in between each screen you have got physical set pieces as well. There was smells in there was smoke in there. I just thought it was really good. The cars spun around. There was a good scene where you felt like you were being, like in a simulator, where you were being pushed away from the screen, but you weren't. But I was well impressed. Claire is the queen of dark rides though. How did it go for you?
Yeah, I really enjoyed it. It's really good to have a shooting ride where it had a motion base, so I was quite worried that it was going to make me motion sick, but it never did. It was really, really good fun, and it had some good set pieces, and I was really impressed with the smoke and the smells. Yeah, would absolutely ride it again.
So massive thumbs up for us too. Definitely, if you come to this park, definitely check it out. Oh, there's a whole other area around there. I think I saw a coaster in there.
Yeah, should we go ride that?
Let's do the shameless coaster.
Yeah.
So this is Lucky Land. Oh, that's that bear. And there's a little coaster in here that we need to get on. It's only got a little queue. This is cool. Big wheel buckets, little carousel. It's quite a chilled out park this, I like it. Luckily, that was a smooth little coaster. I struggled to get in it, so I had to kind of not sit right on the seat, but that meant that lump that's supposed to be between your legs, I was kind of sat on. Luckily it was nice and smooth, so everything was fine. Right, we're heading over to our last big coaster. Oh no, it's not our last big coaster. We've got Creek, which is the dive coaster to get on. And then we've also got the looping coaster. I think they're both around this way, as you can tell, we don't know. But while we're here, there's also a Peppa Pig world here, which looks really cute. If we get time, we might have a wander through it. But don't think there's any coasters in that bit. So, no totally embarrassing rides today. So this is Creek, the massive dive coaster, where you dive into that ship with a monster's mouth on it. Looks huge. It's got quite a nice little layout afterwards as well, and posted at a 35-minute queue. So the queue times so far today have actually been pretty accurate. I'm queuing 30-35 minutes for a big dive coaster. I'm not mad at that at all. It's a fast lift hill. Let's see what the hold's like at the top.
So flattert der zerfetzte Jolly Roger ihm wild über der Bucht der Turmkraft gegenüber. Noch nie hat dieses Zeichen der räuberischen Seelenlinie etwas Gutes verheißen. Jedenfalls nicht für Landhaben. Doch auch die Verwaltung legen in schrecklicher Angst vor einer gewaltigen Meereskälte.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Mit der sie nochmals eine Schlacht auf.
So that was the second great dive coaster of the trip. I really enjoyed that. The theming on that drop, where you drop into that ship, is absolutely amazing. Proper near-miss elements. We waited about 22 minutes it was in the queue, but we did wait for the front row, because that's obviously the best way to see what you're about to drop into. It wasn't forceful really when you compare it to the drop on Oblivion, but it was a fun layout afterwards. I really liked the water splashdown bit. But yeah, just a really good solid coaster. Next up it's time for Big Loop. Classic Vekoma looping coaster. I think very similar to Gudric's at Park Asterix. If you want to know what I think about that coaster, you can go and watch that vlog on the channel now. Let's hope I enjoy this one better.
Hier ist nichts aus dieser Welt.
So we were both very relieved to find out that Big Loop wasn't that bad, especially if you compare it to the likes of Gudric's at Park Asterix. That was pretty smooth. A little bit of a rattle, a couple of jolty bits, but the corkscrews and the loops were really smooth, which was a massive relief for us. Right, we're heading now over to the massive drop tower. That's just over there. It's not as big as Hansa Park, and I was fine with that, so I'm actually excited for this one. Looks like a similar kind of system, big round gondola. It takes you to the top really slow and then drops you, but I don't think there's seats to it on this one. So we've walked to the top of the hill, to the drop tower called Scream, I believe. I'm going to be way up there in a minute, hopefully. Kind of cool, they've got this really well themed building wrapped around it, and then a kid's little drop tower next to it, which also looks really cool. Nice theming on the top. Okay. Claire was feeling a little bit delicate after the Big Loop. So he wasn't fancying the drop tower, so I'm going to go on my own. She's going to go and check out some of the rides in the How to Train Your Dragon area. There's a boat ride that's got a little dark ride section that's right up her street over there. So she's going to have to find that. And I'm joining this queue, so it says half an hour. I'm hoping that's overestimated though.
Fährst ganz langsam in den Himmel. Die Gondel bleibt stehen. Du beginnst zu zählen. 23, 22, 21.
That was so good. Obviously, with Claire not doing it, I had an opportunity to get out of it myself, but still did it. Loved it. That one's definitely not as big, but the views were incredible. This park is just littered with coaster track, so to be up there looking down on it was so good. Definitely over quicker cycle than Highlander. Just span, it didn't tilt the seat forward, which it doesn't need that anyway. But yeah, the views were absolutely incredible. I can't believe I'm coming away from this trip saying I love drop towers. But like now I need to go over to America or Groenland and get on the ones that like completely flip the seat up so you're facing the ground. That's my next challenge. I don't know what this is or what it was, but it looks like there's queue lines up there, so it just looks like another ride that's been removed, but the whole station just left there. It's really sad to see. So the How to Train Your Dragon area, it's got this. I'm sure I just saw a little water jet coming up. Whoa, that's cool, I want to go on that. There's quite a few little kids rides in this area, and there's a boat ride over there. That's the one that Claire's gone to do. It's just a general boat ride, but it's got a nice dark ride section apparently. But we'll find out what she thinks when we catch up with her in a minute. Fire effects. Okay, we're going to try Colossus again. Hopefully it's warmed up now. I've had to take my sunglasses off for a bit because I'm getting a bit of a weird tan lines around my eyes. So we're going to try the single rider queue. They were absolutely smashing through this earlier. They were getting 2 or 3 single riders on every single train. So if we're lucky, because it's gone 5 now, the park's open until 7. If we're lucky, we'll be on and off this fairly quick. The main queue's 35 minutes. So we'll see if single rider is worth it. Got a couple of flats I'd like to do. I'd like to get a re-ride on the wing coaster again now it's warmed up. Apart from that, we can just chill out. Wow, that has really warmed up as the day's gone on. We proper looked out as well. We did the single rider queue. We were waiting for 15 minutes instead of the advertised 35-minute wait. And because people were faffing about in the station, the next train for us had 5 gaps on. There was just an empty row because they were just messing about in the air gates. So they shut the air gates and let us on. So we sat together after using the single rider queue, which is a great bonus. So one thing I would mention about this park is the drinks are so expensive. I'm not quite sure why, but all of the bottles, including bottles of water, are €4.10. There you go. Well, we have found something cool. You can get a Capri Sun for €1.50. So you can get a lot of them for the price of one of them bottles. But that sounds well stingy, doesn't it? But €4 for a little bottle of water, man, that's a lot of money. So behind this fence down here, from the top of Colossus, you can see there used to be 3 different flat rides. It's now just a graveyard, but it's all themed into this area, so it's actually really sad to see that they had 3 more themed rides in this area that they just got rid of, didn't replace, and just put a big fence in the way. So that is really sad because I love rides like this. We've just done the break dance. The kids on it were asking for a second cycle when it finished, and we got one. But it's all good fun. But that seems to be closed now, so I don't know if they do a staggered closing thing here. There is another flat I wanted to try, but that also looks like it's closed, which is a bit of a shame. I think I filmed a bit of it earlier actually, I'll put it in now. I wanted to get on one of these because I've never done one before. But I think it's already closed. I'm starting to wonder if the park actually shuts at 6. I'm sure it was 7 o'clock. Better go and check. So, something we knew but we forgot. The rides shut an hour before the park. So although the park is advertised to be open until 7 o'clock tonight, the rides all shut at 6. So luckily we'd done everything we wanted to do and we were in re-ride mode. I missed one of the flats that I would have liked to have done. There's a couple of flats in the How to Train Your Dragon area that we wanted to try. But yep, the park shut an hour before, and it doesn't really make it clear on the website that that happens. So the good thing is tomorrow, although we're at the end of our trip and we've got to get a flight tomorrow evening, we have got a few hours in the morning. And seeing as we got in here for nothing today with our annual passes, even if we can get in tomorrow with a half price entry, it's still been great value for money. So I think we're going to end up coming back tomorrow. So I'm not going to end the vlog here. So as soon as the park's closed, it's a bit more relaxed filming inside Peppa Pig World. So I thought I'll just show you a bit of what goes on in here. There's a nice tracked train ride with loads of Peppa theming around it. There's the balloon tower over there. It's a really nice colourful area. They've got the pony trek ride where you ride on the back of the dinosaur. Sorry, I do not know the names. I think it's a dinosaur. Them green things over there. Again, all planted really nicely. Got some great photo opportunities coming up. Check these guys out. They've also got this little water ride. But I think that's it, apart from some nice eateries. So seeing as we've got a bit of time to kill before getting in the car, we thought we'd come and see what we can see of the Heide Park Adventure Hotel. It's a big place. Some cool theming at the entrance here. I'm not sure if I like the building. Can't work out if it's supposed to be a castle or what, but Toothless on the top there is massive and looking pretty cool. And this is one hell of an entrance. So hopefully we'll be able to get in and get to a bar and get a drink. It's extremely well themed in here. Kids play area, little arcade, and just spotted Captain Hook's bar. Let's get a drink. So we just had a quick drink in the hotel. It's a really nice hotel. I didn't like filming too much because there's loads of kids around and stuff. But they've got a really nice outdoor section, so we just had a quick drink. Really well themed in there. If and when I come back here, well, when I come back here, definitely look at the price, because I think the price of the stay, you also get admission to the park. So if you book early, you probably get a really good deal. As you can see, it's a massive hotel, really well themed. So yeah, well impressed with that.
Dort Explorer-Tipps du hier. Erzähl gern seine Welt und alle zaubern dir dieses Lächeln ins Gesicht.
Hello, good morning. We are back in Heide Park. So this morning we actually got here earlier. We were here for 9:20. We wanted to avoid all the queues and stuff, but it is pretty dead. So yeah, we got here at 9:20. We brought a parking ticket today, and guess what? The machine didn't work. And then when somebody came over to make it work, we couldn't scan the barcode because the phone was in dark mode, so we had to change it to light mode, and it's all just a massive faff to get in. We tried. And we went straight to the turnstiles with our annual passes. He scanned it and let us in. So I'm like, I said this yesterday, but I don't think it's supposed to be free. I think this is supposed to be like a half price ticket you can buy on the gate. That was our understanding. But we just went to the same turnstile as yesterday and they let us in. So second free day in Heide Park. We have got a flight later on today, so we're only going to be here for a few hours. We're going to get a couple of re-rides on things that we didn't get re-rides on yesterday. And then just chill out around the park. We're going to have 3 or 4 hours here. We're heading straight over to Craig this morning to get back on the dive coaster. Are we thinking a different road today?
We can give it a try.
Maybe back row? See what the queue's like. We were literally, when we arrived this morning, there was only 20 people waiting to get in. And I would say, even then, there was no more than 200 people was there for rope drop. So hopefully it'll be quiet and we'll be able to get around a few different rides. That is a very well themed pirate ship. So from inside the park, this is what the hotel looks like. So that's where we were sat last night having a beer. that is a great way to start the day. Went for a front row, literally waited for like a couple of minutes, and twice on this coaster now there's been people in front of us just in the queue counting how many people are going to be on the next train, and both times they're like, oh, are you in it too, do you want to come forward? So we're filling all the trains. It's like, not the ride-offs, just the people in the queue. You'd never get that in the UK. But yeah, I really enjoyed that. It's not forceful, but it's a great way to wake up. Had tears rolling down my cheeks on that because it's quite fresh this morning. Only thing that I found really weird is there's a baggage hold and they give you a lanyard with a tag on it, and I think the last thing you want on a dive coaster is something around your neck that's going to like fly up and hit you in the face. So I just tucked it around my belt and into my pocket, so it's fine. But the other thing that's weird is the lanyards are for Colossus, which just them little attention to details. So we just got a front row ride on Flug, the B&M wing coaster here. Front right hand side, so you go over the top of that drop. It is running fast already today. It's 10:30 when we got on it. And it was so fast, it was so intense at the bottom of the first drop. Like I could feel it really pushing me into my seat. So we did a morning ride yesterday, so it would be good to get on that just before we leave the park, maybe last ride of the day, and just see how it warms up by midday. It was mad. It was so fast. I can't believe how good that was. Definitely a front row ride. I mean, yesterday it was good at the back row, but on the front row that was amazing. Right, now we're going to do one of the little filler rides that we didn't do yesterday. We're going to jump on this little monorail. It looks really cute. It just goes around the top end of the park. I think Chessington used to have something like this. And I'm pretty sure I've seen something like it at Flamingo Land as well. So yeah, we're going to go and jump on that and see if we get any good views from up there. In the massive restaurant up here, they look like they've got some really good options for food. Like look at that salmon with all them vegetables and all that salad. There's definitely more on offer here than a Merlin Park in the UK. We haven't really explored the food, we haven't really had time. Our curry was really nice yesterday, but yeah, I'd love to come back and try out all the different foods they've got on offer. They look really good. So this little monorail is called the Panorama Van, and I just wanted to say that because it's the first thing I've been able to pronounce all trip. So let's see what we can see. Get a nice view of the hotel. There's a little boat ride down there that we would have missed if we didn't see this. There's a pretty decent looking pirate themed show area over here. Haven't seen any shows on that though, but there is some times on the boards. We've got a splash battle that looks very familiar in terms of its theming. Just going over the lake. It's a really nice chilled out little raft ride down here as well. And then there is the log flume somewhere there that we totally missed yesterday. We didn't see that at all until we were leaving the park. I do love a classic log flume, but because of us like travelling and everything today, like I said earlier, we're only here for a few hours. Got to get on an aeroplane this afternoon, well this evening. I don't fancy doing that wet. There is also a big monorail that goes all the way around the park. I love parks that do decent transportation rides. You get some great views off that. That goes all the way around the big lake. Even the seating down here with the little covers on. It's just really pretty. We just had a perfect back row ride for the last ride we're going to get for this trip on Colossus. I got a bit of room in the restraint, which meant the airtime was insane. You're literally like, you're just out of the seat on all of them airtime hills, all the way until you get to that helix, which is kind of unnecessary. I think it slows the ride down, it trims before it as well. I would have just put a drop in there and then straight into a couple more airtime hills before going through the big thing. Before you go through. Is the actual monster called Colossus?
I think the coaster's called Colossus and then the monster is attacking Colossus.
Okay.
I think that's what the story said.
So whatever the name of that monster is, before you go through that, yeah, it's a very, very good, incredibly smooth wooden coaster. Definitely in my top 10 wooden coasters. I don't know where because I've never actually ranked them, but it would be in the top 10. Right, we're going to try out a funky little flat ride now. Never even seen one of these in real life. So let's get on it and see what it does. It's kind of like an inverted waltzer. I don't like, this is the only negative thing I have about this park, and I know I keep banging on, but this is one of the graveyards of one of the flat rides. It's just so sad to see it left like this. You can actually see in this ride graveyard where there's still one of the flat rides is still there. It's one of the sticky wall rotary rides. It's so sad to see. So for today's lunch, we've just been to the snack place outside Colossus, where you get roast meat, tzatziki, chips, and a drink for €12.90. It's an extra £2 for a beer, an extra £3 deposit for these beer cups. So it came to, well, once it was all changed, it came to £13.88 with Merlin discount, which again, for a beer and a meal, I don't think it's too bad. And a great view. So we have come to the end of our short day here at Heide Park. I could stay here all day, I could stay here for several days. I love this place. The only one negative I have about it, which I'll get out of the way first of all, is the flat ride graveyards that I've mentioned several times. It's just really sad to see. I'd rather them just rip the ground up and turf it or something. I'm also can't wait to get home and find out what rides used to be there. That'll be interesting to see. But apart from that, I'm absolutely in love with this park. It's got a great lineup of coasters. It's got 9, when they're all open, there's 9 coasters here. There's a log flume, there's a nice rapids, there's a decent drop tower. The food seems really good. The food's really good value as well. The only thing that's quite expensive is the drinks. So like today, we just brought our own drinks in. Operations have been great as well. The only ops that were a little bit slow are on Colossus. I don't know if that's something to do with having the seatbelt and the lap bar. But yeah, it was taking a while for the trains. I mean, it takes ages for the train to complete the circuit. And then they were sitting on the brake run for ages as well. So, and it's consistent every time we've been on it, the ops have been slow, but everything else has been absolutely fantastic. Lots of automatic dispatch gates, air gates, automatic baggage holds. All very, very efficient. I've heard a lot of people not moaning about this place, but giving it mixed reviews because it's owned by Merlin. I don't see any downsides to that. I think they've owned this park for quite a while and it's looking decent. Everything seems well looked after. The only thing I've really noticed is the vinyl signs on stuff. You've got like really nice buildings at the entrance and then just a vinyl sign on it. But that does not affect, for me, it doesn't affect my day out. It's a shame they've done it. I'd love something a bit better themed. Oh god, we're walking into a splash zone. We need to be careful. But it doesn't take anything away from my day here. Sorry, I'm a bit dark, so the sun's behind me. So yeah, we're just walking round to the exit now, taking in our last little lap of the park. It's absolutely beautiful. There's trees everywhere, flowers. But everything's well maintained. I love it. I'm definitely somewhere that I would want to come back to. And one of my favourite parks of the trip. So we were just passing Craig on the way out and noticed that it was on a 5-minute wait, but we literally walked straight into the station, straight onto the ride, got a back row. I think the back row was more forceful. Like it really pulls you over that top. So yeah, I love that ride. Honestly, I could not decide which I like best out of Flug and Colossus and that. Like, they're all really solid coasters. There's nothing else like totally outstanding here that you're going to be like, oh my god, that's the best coaster I've ever been on. But the general lineup is just really good. Had a really good couple of days here. It's a great theme park and definitely want to come back. It's also the end of the trip, the European spring trip, which Claire has meticulously organised. She's lost her voice today, so I'm not going to put her on camera. Too much screaming. But this trip has been amazing. So it was all planned around the ECC event in Liseberg. It started off by, oh, should we go to Denmark before? and then ended up in Germany after, and it's been one hell of a trip. So it's been almost a year, in a couple of days it will have been a year since I first went to Portaventura, which was my first European trip to a theme park ever. After sitting through lockdowns, watching vlogs and getting excited about going to all these places. And then I honestly cannot believe what's happened in the last 12 months, and this trip has just blown everything out of the water. It's been amazing. 5 different parks, a fun fair. We've done 9 days. We were supposed to have 3 days of not really doing anything other than travel, but we managed to find a fair one day. We had an extra trip to Tivoli because we loved it so much. And then we've got an extra day here as well because we got in for free. So, like, nothing's gone wrong on this trip. All the planning has been flawless, thanks to Claire. And it's been amazing. It's been so good. And I really hope you enjoyed watching all of the vlogs, including this one. If you have, don't forget to give this one a like. If you haven't seen the others, why not subscribe to the channel and check them out. We've got Tivoli Gardens, Bakken, Liseberg. That's it, isn't it? Oh, Heide Park, we did that as well. How could I forget? No, but yeah, this trip's been fantastic. I hope you've enjoyed all the vlogs. I've loved making them. And do you know what? I'm not even sure what's coming up next, because I've got so many vlogs to edit. I don't know what order anything's going to go on at. So I'll just say, I'll see you in the next one. Yeah, so goodbye from Germany. Do you want to say goodbye?